Greetings, everybody. It is Saturday, February 14th, 2015, and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekend Trader. Happy Valentine's Day to all. It has been a very active week, lots of thoughts, lots of ideas, and let's get right to it. I am continuing a bit of a mission here to explore and utilize the Twitter trading universe to the extent of maximum benefit for everybody involved. And forgive me if I have been a few years behind the times on this. I, in the past, really shied away from this sort of thing, preferring to keep the correspondence less public, if you will, in terms of reaching out. We've had the blog. We've had other things that we've done, but we've never really kind of expanded it beyond what was a very little niche effort. And so I appreciate your indulgence as I toy with this a little bit in terms of, I've got my tweet deck over here, which is what I'm looking at, in terms of trying to make this work for a lot of us. And it's been a learning experience for me at this end. First of all, a couple of shout outs. Thank you certainly, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this name right. Peter Resnicek from Shadow Trader. Peter, I hope I didn't botch that. We have exchanged notes, and Peter was gracious enough to comment on his reading of Chronicles of a $1 Million Trader, and was very humbled by his comments, his public tweets, and I noticed that just in the last day or so, we're up almost 100 Twitter followers, and this is not about how many followers you can get. That's not the name of this game, but this is certainly about how we can continue to use this tool and this collective to benefit all of us. And so, as things have evolved over recent months, I'm getting to a point now where we've just completed some formal training of the jellies, and now I want to get back into a mode of certainly my own trading and sharing my own trading, but continue to build what I think can be a very outstanding network. The nice thing that I'm finally learning about Twitter, and again, forgive me for being behind the times here a little bit, is the ability to filter, the ability to list, the ability to tag, and we'll talk some about that. But first of all, welcome. Maybe not first of all. Second of all, welcome to those of you who might be new to this. Just a very, very quick history lesson. This blog, this site really started in earnest in, I think it was 2008, with journaling my trades on an hourly and daily basis, and that became the genesis for much of what you see here, and the genesis for the middle part of the Chronicles book. And it just kind of built out of nowhere. It was a way for me to journal my own thoughts with very little public notice, aside from word of mouth, people being invited, certainly look over my shoulder, hold me accountable, cheer me on, chew me down, or chew me up, whatever. And this has kind of taken off on a life of its own, where it's morphed into trading diaries, into motivation, into consumer advocacy with MF Global, to formal education, all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of getting back to our roots here, if you will, in trying to reach out to as many traders as possible. I will not be, for those who have asked, I will not be at the Traders Expo in New York. I'm really backing off of that speaker circuit. It takes my focus away from business. It takes my focus away from trading, and it just doesn't make sense. So I'm looking to continue to use the internet as the social outlet, if you will, to expand what we're doing, and continue to look for ways that we can all grow in trading. We can all push each other in trading, and basically maximize, not to get corny and say be all you can be, but maximize the potential for all of us. And those of you who have read the book, when you get to the end of the book, the comment about seeing that window of opportunity and jumping through it with both feet, and not being timid about it, and that sort of thing. This is where I want to get back to. I want to get back to our roots, and I want to get back to the concept of the bamboo tree, for example. Again, there's a tab for those new to the site, a tab at the top of the site that goes back several years, and describes the concept of a bamboo, where you're putting in lots of time and cultivating and watering and nurturing, but you don't see any results, and then finally, boom, it pays off. And so I want to get back to a little bit of that and look to see how we can use the evolving technology in this world to help each other in the trading community. Uh, as I've said before, the social media, it's a double-edged sword like most things in life. There's a lot of good to it, but there's a lot of challenge to it as well, and filtering and not getting caught up in it, and not having it take your focus away from your trading over the course of the day. But I'm embracing it now. I'm welcoming it, and I'm sure I'll make some mistakes along the way as we do in trading. But we'll continue to certainly use this, and I appreciate the interest. I appreciate everyone who now has joined this network, if you will, and this is all about helping each other in life and in trading. A couple of other thoughts as we get started today. If I call up my blog, there certainly was a post. I haven't been doing many midweek posts lately, but there was a post here that I thought was fairly important, which was entitled "The Competitor's Creed." And regardless of your spiritual background, I think there's something for all of us to take from that. It was an article that I came across recently as the Patriots were preparing for the Super Bowl, and it just kind of got at something that was very, very important to me, and something that I felt that I had gotten away from as a person and as a trader. When we are all involved in competitive endeavors, whether it be sports or whether it be a physical sports or whether it be a mental sport like the sport of trading, we are competing against one another. There is a survival of the fittest. We've talked about the 5 to 10% of people who consistently are successful in this business, and how do we get over that line, the 10-90% line, to that side and stay on that side at least as much as possible. We're going to waver back and forth, but how do we stay there? It's a competitive. It's the result of the competitive nature of trading. And so how do you compete effectively, ethically, being all you can be again, but withstanding your core values as a person? I thought that was great. I know it was great for me because it was something that I needed to hear and needed to reinforce in terms of what we're about. So I hope that was helpful. Anything I'm thinking about, I use the blog as much for me documenting thoughts for myself as I am sharing it with people that are looking over my shoulder. Again, if you're new to this site, there's no magic here. There's no guru-itis. I'm a human being. I'm a trader. I have been fortunate to have kind of figured some things out, and including what my weaknesses are and the missteps that I need to avoid or minimize in terms of maximizing trading results. So we're going to continue that mission. Now, one thing I thought about, and I'll ask folks that are interested in joining me in this experiment. And this experiment, like a trade, may go completely bust. But if it does, we'll minimize it with a quick stop and we'll move on. But I thought about a way to try to use Twitter to focus on actual trades, trade preparation, and trade narration. And if you followed me for any length of time, one of my pet peeves in this industry is the constant focus on technical analysis, solely on technical analysis, and not on the actual planning and executing of trades, both before the fact and during the fact. So I'm going to put a test out there this week, and we're going to see how this goes. And you don't have to be a jelly. You don't have to have been through the training programs that we've done here. You can be anybody that's seriously, actively trading the markets. I don't care if you make one trade a day, one trade a week, 10 trades a day. But I'm going to ask you to tweet what you are stalking, what you're looking for, and in very shorthand, very much shorthand, which is all you can really do with Twitter. I don't want to have this take any focus away from anyone's trading, but tweet your setup and your trade entry, preferably ahead of time, what you're looking for. This is what we would do in the Jelly course or some of the old live chat rooms we used to do. And then tweet your entry and tweet your exits and tweet any narration. And narration is really as important, if not more important, than the actual trades. And I'd like you to mark that with hashtag Jelly Trades. So hashtag JELLIETRADES. And we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to have some fun with that this week. It's an experiment. I'm very well aware that we could get junk associated with it, but I'm going to reach out to you as professional traders. Now this should be with ES, by the way. This should be with the S&Ps. It can be the spiders. It can be ETFs like the spiders or SSO or the inverse SPXU, or it can be ES as long as it's tracking the S&P market. And we'll mark that again, hashtag jelly trades, and see how it goes. We may kill it after a week. This may grow into something that's huge. Again, the intent of this is to get you folks to focus. Those of you who are not journaling or maybe not thinking ahead of time with your trades, thinking out loud, give you an opportunity to prepare yourself ahead of time. I look at Friday's trade. I was around 1 or 1:30. I don't have the charts in front of me, but it was the perfect move back toward hourly support around 83 or so. And it was really the first retracement that we had gotten in 2 days that was timely enough and strong enough where one could have time to look at it and actually make the entry outside of the Globex session. The U.S. day session has been very, very difficult, as many know who have been following me in recent days, for those entries where you can just really sink your teeth into. And I thought about that for a while, and because I did trade that. But it required really some advanced thinking in terms of preparation ahead of time, because you got a hard move down to 80, 85, and then 83, and it touched 83, 83 and a half like once, and I think maybe it approached it a second time. But you had to be there with that catcher's mitt ready for it. You had to be prepared for it. And this business is about preparation. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe we can use this this hashtag business as, if nothing else, but a way to jumpstart your trading and to reinforce and push you into documenting a little bit. Again, we'll see where this goes, but let's give that a try if you are so inclined. If it takes any focus away, you just want to watch it, great. I'm gonna work on that a little bit this week. So that's one thought I had. Another thought I had, thinking about again how we can continue to grow as human beings and grow as traders, is the concept of not being timid. I used to have a professor at Bryant College, when it was Bryant College, by the way, and I learned this week with Peter and I exchanging emails, again, Peter, Shadow Trader, that we both went to Bryant. That's back when it was a college, by the way, not a university, and now it's Bryant University. And I tell people the only difference between college and university is like $40,000 in tuition, just by the nomenclature that they use. But I used to have a professor anyway that and you've seen this said elsewhere too. It was go big or stay home. Either do something and do something well and put all yourself into it, or don't do it at all. And I've been in a situation personally, because of various business efforts and interests and conflicts and life intervening, that there have been too many times where I have not put my all into trading. Sometimes due to circumstance that out of my control, but many times due to circumstances within my control. And I want to remind myself that anything that I am doing and anything that you're doing, put your whole body into it. If you're just kind of sleepwalking through it or going through the motions, and I'm gonna bookmark a site. I put a link in today's post to a site that I came across as I was researching this today, that talks about that a little bit. I don't know if I have it up here or not. I don't, but I will get it up. And it's basically about just putting your full self into it. We can be so caught up with the preparation, for example, we can over prepare, and then I think that the comment is that when you get time to execute, it's somewhat mundane. So it's got to be a balance. We want to focus on preparation, increase our preparation, strengthen our preparation, but then when that opportunity is there, don't leave it all in the preparation room. You got to take it out in the field. You got to take it out into your charts. You got to take it out in your order entry platform. And I know, as I've worked with traders over the course of my life, and as I looked at my own trading, there are too many times where I am timid. The fact is, if you figure this business out, and if you cross that line, even from just a conceptual basis to that 10% or 5% or whatever it may be of people that are consistently profitable in the market, put yourself there and push it. Go for it. There's a great comment in this post that you'll see that this is very similar to what we have in the Jelly scorecard, and it it has the objective, if you will, of getting to the end of the day and making sure that you have no regrets. And there's a little visualization that you'll see, which talks about, imagine yourself getting to the end of the day or end of whatever time period. Put yourself there now, and feel what you would feel if you hadn't pursued something, if you hadn't done something, if you hadn't taken that trade, if you haven't taken that trade setup. And in one of the line items, on the Jelly scorecard, in evaluating your own trading, and this is in the Chronicles book, and I've published this many times, is a line for no regrets. Okay, one of the goals is to get through the end of the day with no regrets. It could be the day, month, week, whatever. And so I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to challenge myself to make sure that when we see that trade setup, okay, we're in with both feet. Now we may probe, and we know if we probe, we have to add quickly if we get confirmation or if we get additional evidence. We've got to get the position on, okay? Otherwise, you're size smallest when the trade is moving in your direction and heaviest when it's moving against you. You want to be size strong every time it's moving in your direction. So if you are probing, if you're putting one foot in, you have to put that second foot in. So I want to challenge everybody this week to step out of the box, okay? Throw all the timid nature part of you out the door, out the window, okay? Get rid of it. It's done, okay? Go big or stay home. Push yourself. Get to the end of Tuesday. Monday's a holiday, at least in the States. Get to the end of Tuesday. Get to the end of this week. Get to the end of this coming month. Leaving it all out on the field. Having no regrets that you tiptoed into a sequence. Yeah, it was great that you called that ES might have risen 10 points at the end of the Friday. But did you take advantage of that opportunity? Were you aggressive? Did you have faith? Did you step out? Did you do what others won't, can't, or are unable to do, which is the group of the 90%? Okay, because that's what it's going to take to be on this other side. So it takes for me to be on that other side. And I've said before, I can flip-flop. Everybody can flip-flop. It's how do we get on that side? How do we stay on that side? And part of that is making sure that you maximize every opportunity. So maybe the hashtag effort will help. Maybe it will help me. Maybe it will help you. We'll find out. But we're going to have some fun with that. But the goal of this week is don't be the tip of the iceberg. Be that humongous portion under the water that you can't see, but you know is there. And go for it. You have the wind at your back. You have acquired the knowledge. You have a greater force than yourself. Okay? And just leave it out on the table this week. That's my message for this week. Let's have at it. I'll do a test, hashtag Jelly Trades that you can check out, and we'll go from there. Have a great rest of the weekend. We're hunkered down for the blizzard. Looking forward to your continued input. Again, welcome everybody. Check out the site. There's a tab for the old blog going back to 2008. Lots of good stuff, lots of indexing. We'll do this weekend trader video, continue to do it every week. And as other things come up, we'll put it out there. So we try to do a blend of stuff that doesn't cost anything. If you're interested in more formal education, that stuff's out there. There's no pressure, there's no pushing. And iron sharpens iron. That's what it's all about. So again, thank you to everybody on Twitter that's joining us. Thank you to everybody who's been a part of this network for a long, long time. We're going to start ramping things up in a big way. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the flip side. Take care.